Hi, my name is Flavio and this is Influur's Hot Seat Sessions. We met on Hinge randomly, very randomly. But I knew of him because he was like somewhat like media famous like in New York, like he was a journalist. So I had a friend who like recognized him when I sent him like his profile. It was love at first sight. He like stayed over the first night and he moved in 2 months after. The first video we posted, we used to have like our TikTok account used to be private. So we only like our friends followed us. So we just post like random stuff, like just like literally like we were cooking, we tell our friends like, oh my God, we're gonna see you guys later. Like this is what we're doing before hanging out. But we literally had like 5 friends following us. And then we like made it on private, yeah, public. Maybe 2023, we had like a video just get like 1 million views or something. And then we stopped posting. Then we made it private again, actually. I think when people kept asking us about our relationship, like personal information, that's when we were kind of like, wait, what do people care about anything we do or say? I actually know because the first couple of videos, like it was only him, it was only Flavio like on camera. Like I was never on camera for like the first, I would say like 6 months of us posting. And then I feel like our content has transitioned more into like our relationship overall, which is cool because I get to be on camera. I don't mind it now, but in the beginning I didn't like it. Now I kind of like it more because it's like a really good way of expressing myself. Like before I feel like everything I want to say, I would say it through him. And now I have like my own voice. We got an email from Loewe, like the fashion brand, and they basically asked us how much money we were asking, and we had no idea of like how much money to ask. So we asked them very little money, of course. But it was like definitely the first time that we like felt like, oh my God, like this is something that like someone is asking us to do and we're not like seeking the opportunity. And we got to go to the Loewe store, like they closed it for us. It was really cool. I think when I did the math and I could afford to quit my job, yeah. DM that I've gotten so far, that's crazy. We got a DM from Sisa. Yeah, I like had a whole conversation with her. Honestly, like a very spiritual conversation. Like very like I was like telling her about like stuff about my life that like she didn't need to know. And she was like very responsive and like she was like giving me advice, like life advice. And I was like, but she's always like online, so like. Honestly, Avianca DM'd us. They like wanted us to go to something. They wanted us to plan like kind of like a trip like around Colombia. But at the time I was still working and he's still working. So like we're still trying to figure out how to make that work. But like that's like honestly our dream to like go to Colombia for like a whole month. So like I would love to like actually like, and I've been to Medellin too, but I would love to like go to the whole country and like be there for a whole month. I think definitely how to figure out when it's like a time to not record anything and to just like be us, because we usually spend every morning together. Lately, like we've been kind of like just like pulling our phones out for a second, but then it turns into like a lot of content creation. So we're trying to figure out more the balance of like actually like, okay, we're not gonna bring our phones to this walk, or if we're gonna get breakfast, we're like not gonna record anything. I honestly come up with like 95% of the ideas, mostly because a lot of our content is me teaching him Spanish. So he actually knows very limited Spanish, but he handles like all the email stuff, the like payments, like reaching out to people. That's something that I've never been good at, so, and he knows it. That's why he does it. We used to like be better at like kind of like having a schedule and like a plan to either record or release our content, but now like we literally have just been like, we don't even use like the camera like app anymore. We just like record on TikTok or Instagram, and we realized that like it's just like it's less stressful for us to like, and I feel like people like also can tell whenever you like plan something, but it's honestly, I love it now. I used to hate having to like plan, we have to record this day. That Flavio doesn't speak Spanish because people come up to him like all the time. They like will literally say like a whole like large sentence to him, and he gets really anxious whenever he's alone because he just pretends that he understands what people say. He just like literally just nods. But he was like telling me like, I think they said this, but I'm not sure. So we always try to decipher what people say to him. We just argue through it, to be honest. We're really bad at not we butt heads a lot with our content, I would say. I would say more not in the idea side, but more in the organizing side. We just argue until someone says okay, I don't care that much. You can do whatever you want. And that works for us. It's pretty even, honestly. I think that we can both tell that when we feel passionate about something and we respect, I feel like the others passion as well. I worked in New York City politics for 7 years. I studied sociology and political theory, and Flavio did journalism and he works at New York Magazine right now. Honestly, a lot of people ask us if we actually are in a relationship. If people think that because we started kind of joking that we were roommates in the beginning, and people really sometimes are you guys actually dating, or are you guys in love, which is really interesting. So I don't know what. Yeah, I know. I feel we used to go out a lot more, at night. I feel we used to I personally the other day I feel I got drunk for the first time since we kind of gain a following on social media, and people were kind of asking me what are you doing here, and it was I went out to 7 in the morning that night, and I never do it anymore. I literally I don't even know. It was we started, where did we start? We started at my friend's apartment, then we went to Bossa Nova in Bushwick, then we went to Carmelo's in Bed-Stuy, and then we kept meeting people. They invited us to these random after parties. And then I came out of it and it was daylight, and I haven't done that in literally since college, I think. And Flavio, he used to get messy too in public too, but now I feel he's a lot more reserved than me. That to me is the weird part, because in my head I'm only Latino people follow us, so whenever I see random white girls in Bushwick following us, I'm saying hi. I'm wait, how do you what's the connection? Honestly, it sounds so basic, but really I think for me is that we really have found an intersection between queer culture and Latino culture that I really didn't see on social media that much. Especially I guess I saw it individually, but I never as a couple, especially an American couple and a Latino couple. I think that kind of looking at yourself and seeing where your intersections are in your identity is really powerful, because there's probably no one that shares the same exact path as you, and I'm sure that you're gonna have some ideas or overall characteristics that people are gonna be oh my god, I never thought about that, but I also share that experience. I think that something about us being soulmates, because I feel that's been the thing that we always said since the beginning we started dating, that we just really do believe that we were meant for each other, and that we knew each other in a past life. And I think that everyone, I don't know if, to be honest, I don't know if you have one soulmate or many soulmates. I feel I don't want to exclude people who think, but I think that just having people believe that there's someone out there for you that it's just gonna feel easy with, and that relationships are hard, but when it's the right person, it all becomes kind of easy, because it becomes more of a adapting to the other person, Yeah. Okay, an influencer that I love, it's only the only influencer I really follow. There's this girl called Amina3. I honestly, I generally, we follow each other, and I am obsessed. She posts 20 times a day, and it's only her talking, saying the most random things. And she's a model too, I think. But she's honestly the funniest person on the internet right now. I think she's gonna be a huge content creator. I mean, she's already really big, but I think she's gonna be on top of the world one day, because she's really herself. The reason I follow her is because she's so random, but funny. She's not she's so committed to the bit, but she's the best. I honestly I want to use the word fairy tale, because it really kind of feels that way, because when we met, I feel I had never been in a relationship. He had never been in a relationship, and I feel it was such a good fit that all of our friends kind of were freaking out about it, because they had never seen us with someone before. I feel everyone in our lives like was kind of like people in love are really cute, but you guys are really really cute together. And now that like we kind of have a following, like to us it's kind of like it's so crazy that like our friends saw in us like what we didn't see in each other, and like now people also see it, which is really like feels very like reassuring, but also like I think it's beautiful because like we're not like lying or like pretending anything, so it's kind of like I think that people can see through that, which is like makes me feel good. I would tell people, to be honest, if they want to become content creators, I would tell them to like look at it as something on the side, to be honest. I really like I respect the industry, and like I know that people work really hard, especially like people who are like, you know, doing deals left and right and traveling, all that stuff. But I really would tell people that like maybe see it at least in the beginning as a hobby, and not just try to see it as a way of like quitting your job or making it your personality, because the truth is that you're gonna have so much free time that I think that it's gonna affect like the core of you, who you really are. So I think that just looking at it as something like on the side that you like put your passion and energy to, I think it's gonna reflect in your content, and you're not gonna look like, you know, some content creators that